Coming up on NTC News, NIU and DeKalb police talk about keeping students safe. We'll hear what they are planning to do.
And any changes to the city of DeKalb usually impact NIU. We'll have a sit-down conversation with the mayor on some pressing issues.
Also, if you have a parking ticket, you might be paying less than you expected. We'll tell you why. NTC News starts now.
You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
Hello, I'm Tom Burton. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Monolito Pendleton II. Today is Thursday, October 26th.
Campus safety has become an immediate concern for not only law enforcement, but for NIU students.
Many groups of law enforcement are teaming up to help combat the current streak of violence that's plaguing the area.
Victoria Lunasek joins us now and was at the event. Victoria?
Hi, Victoria.
Hi, thanks for having me. It was a packed house of concerned students, parents, and community activists who let their voices be heard loud and clear. Those on the front lines battling the violence say they are not only listening, but pledging to take action. NIU, a once peaceful area that is being struck with worry over violence. 5 shootings have taken place this school year alone, concentrated in the area of Greek Row. The most recent took place at the 900 block of Greenbrier. Last night, DeKalb and campus police held a forum to explain their collaborative efforts to control and end the current violence. Both departments said they have never seen a school year with so many shootings. Deputy Chief of DeKalb Police, John Petrogallo, believes Greek Row has been susceptible to violence because of the constant congestion.
And there's more to do, there's more entertainment for folks, there's more parties up there, there's more foot traffic. It's just an area where people tend to gather much more up in that area.
While the officers did express they are doubling the amount of officers in the area, some students are still very concerned. Delta Zeta member Taylor Castle says she is scared to go out after dark, even just to her car.
It's scary that I forgot my phone charger in my car the other night, and I was terrified to walk there by myself. And it's right behind Delta Zeta.
Not only were current students concerned, but also alum and parents. Concerned parent of a current NIU student, Bonnie Castle, hopes the new efforts will keep Greek Row safe.
The most important thing in my life is my children, and when you have to tell your child to stay away from the window or go in groups just to go to your car, it's a problem for me.
Not only are both police departments partnering up, but they are including SWAT and National Guard in their efforts. Students will also be seeing a stronger police presence in the areas around campus. Campus police are working on the new safety apps that include a personal tracker and anonymous tip lines. One of the most important pieces of advice they gave was to always call 911 if you see any suspicious activity.
Thanks, Victoria. If you have one of the 5,000 parking tickets in DeKalb, you might have looked out. The city of DeKalb has announced a temporary amnesty program for unpaid tickets. During the month of November, you might be eligible to pay a reduced fee. People who have 10 or more parking tickets, snow emergency route tickets, or handicap parking tickets aren't eligible. After 10 days, unpaid $25 tickets increase to $75 with the program. The $25 tickets are reduced to $50. The newly elected mayor of DeKalb, Jerry Smith, is spearheading many of the changes happening in the city. Jesse Schlacks joins us now with more.
Thanks, guys. It's so nice to have you here, Mr. Smith.
It's great being here.
And there are some important topics circulating right now. Just yesterday, the NIU and DeKalb police were really pooling their efforts to combat crime in the areas surrounding campus. What do you see as a long-term solution to address this issue?
You know, you've hit it right on the head. It's going to be long-term. This is not a short-term fix. As you may know, we have started a task force working with a firm out of Chicago called Camaros, they're urban planners, and they work with revitalizing neighborhoods. They worked on the west side of Rockford, they worked for Bowling Green, they worked for the University of Toledo, and what we find is that the northwest quadrant of our community, that area north of, say, Lucinda, and bordered on the east by Normal Road and on the west by the edge of the university campus and all the way up through the county, the DeKalb County campus. That's an area that has changed dramatically over the years. You know, our demography has changed. The fact that we have buildings now that were once all students, all northern students, are now being backfilled by their apartment owners with folks who perhaps are looking for cheaper rent. Many times these folks are single mothers with a couple of kids. Well, you know, single mothers with a couple of kids and college students probably just don't mix as well. As a result of that, we've had a proliferation of folks moving out from the east, so our crime levels are up. And every northern student should feel safe. And I think during the day, from what I gather, it's not a bad situation. So we know that nighttime in the Annie Glidden North neighborhood that we're going to work on with a task force is something that we need to address. We've already started to trim trees that allow our street lights to make our streets better lit. But you know, there are a number of issues that lead to your point about crime, and that is we also have scenarios where we have buildings on the north side of that area that should come down. I mean, there are some really bad places that folks are being asked to live in. Yeah. And we need to work with the community, we need to work with the city to try to do what we can to refurbish, rehab some of those buildings.
You're hitting on a few keywords, actually. Yeah. Is this a part of the revitalization plan?
Absolutely.
I know we're in the visioning stage coming up soon.
This is the revitalization plan. The visioning stage has already started, you know. I mean, the tree trimming, the lighting, the crosswalks across Annie Glidden Road. We need a food store. Right now, if a mother, take that mother with 2 kids, she wants some fresh produce. She doesn't have a car. Does she have a grocery store in that neck of the woods? No. We need to attract businesses that, or something that will give those kinds of folks some way to feed their families. You know, those, when I say those kinds of folks, those folks who don't have perhaps the transportation. You know, over the next year, we are consolidating the Husky bus line with the VAC transportation system. So I think we're going to see more transportation in that area. So we need food store, we need better transportation, we need better lighting, we need better housing. And the folks that we're marshaling, if you will, to help us are residents, business people, people who own those apartments. They're all together as part of this task force that we put together. And we want input from all segments of our community, because it isn't just a northwest quadrant area, it's a whole DeKalb area. You know, and all of this was precipitated by the drop in enrollment at Northern Illinois University. Yes. You know, what have we had? 5,000, 6,000 less students now than we had 10 years ago?
There is a declining trend.
Right.
How do you work with university officials to try to break this kind of trickling trend of enrollment?
Well, this is certainly one of them, Annie Glidden North. During the mayoral campaign, back in, well actually the campaign probably started at the end of 2016. During that campaign, I said I was going to work as closely with the Board of Trustees and other folks at Northern, so letting them know that the city is working hand in hand. We want to do whatever we can. I have a good relationship with a number of the people on the Board of Trustees. I've been here for 56 years. I know a few folks. I've had a good relationship with Doug Baker prior to his leaving. Now with Lisa Freeman and I, we are getting together as a group of Northern folks, a group of city folks, at least once every 6 weeks or so on what we call a COM University meeting. What are the major issues? What are the major topics we need to discuss?
Sounds
Some of
like
those,
we'll see
some
some
of
of
those are
that.
on the negative side, if you will, but most of them are on the positive side. What can we do together to make this a better campus, a better university community, a better university? And we're going to get that done. But as you suggested, Jesse, early on, this is not a short-term fix. This is a long-term kind of thing. You know, the enrollment drop didn't happen just this last year. It didn't happen just the last 2 years. It's been a steady decline. Let's see if we can get that on the way up. And I was encouraged by the fact that we had a good spike in freshman enrollment this past year, and that is a good sign. So what we hope to do is working together with the university to see that trend continues.
All right, Mr. Smith, it was great to have you with us.
Well, thank you. It was nice being here. Thanks.
Back to you guys.
Former NIU College of Law Dean Eric Dannenmeyer has only 2 months left before his work for the university is over. The former dean headlined the Northern Star this morning as they gave an in-depth look at his post-resignation role at the university. Dannenmeyer resigned from his position as dean in June after being accused of sexual harassment from 2 female colleagues. He came to a resolution with the university that allows him to work on an NIU research project until December 31st. Dannenmeyer is still receiving an almost $95,000 salary.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather.
Caitlin, are we expecting a dip in the temperature this weekend?
As a matter of fact, we are. There is a cold front coming through on Friday, which could bring the potential for a mix of snow and rain showers possible. I'll touch on that later in the show, but for now, back to you guys.
Coming up on NTC News.
Do quilts have to do with human rights? We'll answer that question.
And it wasn't basketball, but science that drew this crowd into the combo last week. NTC News will be right back.
But it's like...
You made this vacation happen, cleverly merging promotions,
double points with every purchase,
and cross-referencing travel sites. Aloha! If you can ace your vacation, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
The Pick Museum of Anthropology is currently hosting a quilts and human rights exhibit.
NTC reporter Bea Garcia has more on the story.
The Quilts and Human Rights exhibit is home to over 40 quilts dedicated to gaining awareness of social justice issues. Some of the issues demonstrated in the exhibit are feminism, equality, sexuality, and racism. A majority of the quilts are from Michigan State University, as this exhibit has been loaned to NIU until February of 2018. Pick Museum Research Assistant Rachel Drochter is excited to have expanded the display of quilts.
And then we were able to also supplement it with quilts from around the United States.
Each quilt displayed has a plaque explaining the meaning behind the design. While some are inspired by actions, others are inspired by events, such as the Boston Marathon. The museum is hoping that by having this exhibit, they can create a safe space to discuss these issues. Drochter is impressed by the artists curator Laura McDowell was able to find for the exhibit.
She was able to kind of find these folks that are really popular in the quilting community in the modern part of this modern quilt movement.
The exhibit has welcomed a few speakers since its opening and is supported by NIU's Center for the Study of Women, Gender, and Sexuality. For NTC News, I'm Bea Garcia.
On social media and reads a lot about quilts and quilts.
The exhibit is open for tours Tuesday through Saturday until the end of February.
Winter is just around the corner, and it's about time to break out our hats and gloves. But colder weather brings uncertainty for people wondering how they'll stay warm. The NIU Giving Project is giving away scarves, hats, and other items that students and staff crochet and knit at their bi-weekly meetings.
Items to the Husky Food Pantry on Thursdays when they're open to distribute to students that way.
The Giving Project has 3 more sessions this fall.
Students looking to get a pick-me-up cup from coffee or snacks may soon have to head over to the library instead of the Student Center. That's because the Home Student Center will temporarily shut down food operations next year while undergoing renovations. The Board of Trustees approved plans to renovate the cafe and enter into a 10-year franchise agreement with the yet-to-be-selected firm Construction at Founders. Library will begin over winter break. The Home Student Center is expected to begin construction this summer and will finish by fall of 2019.
Science, math, engineering, and technology exhibits took over the Convocation Center last weekend. And NTC News reporter Austin Hansen tells us how thousands of folks, all from over Illinois, showed up for STEM Fest with excitement in their eyes and a vision for the future.
NIU hosted this year's STEM Fest event for anyone who is interested in the ever-changing sciences. STEM Fest consists of multiple stands all over that are run by volunteers. The stands cover a variety of projects or games that visitors can partake in. Harlem High School science teacher Caitlin Rufa has been volunteering at STEM Fest for 3 years, and there's a reason she keeps coming back.
I really love working with members of the public and talking to them about science and my passion for science, and I love showing the kids all these neat activities and things that they can explore within science. It's a lot of fun.
The event is meant to excite students on the possibilities behind our sciences and math and what they can do when they pursue those interests. NIU student and STEMFest volunteer Adam Rivas wants participants to leave with more knowledge than they had before.
Make kids think. If they leave with more questions than they came with, that's a good thing. We want them to explore and understand science better.
Rufa is hoping that STEMFest will help promote the sciences and build interest in them from students.
We're trying to show them all the neat things that can be done with science and kind of encourage interest in the sciences.
NIU hosts STEMFest every year around October with the help of colleges like Kishwaukee College and Illinois State. For NTC News, I'm Austin Hansen.
STEMFest hosts other events like book fairs and summer camps, and volunteers are always welcome.
It's been chilly these past few days.
Caitlin Laura joins us to tell us what's in store for the weekend.
Starting with tonight, it will be partly cloudy and chilly with a low near 47 degrees and winds right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Going into Friday, those clouds will stay and it'll be cloudy all day with a high near 46. We have a possibility for rain and snow showers, a mix of rain and snow showers overnight with a low around 37 degrees. Winds will be 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour possible, and the chance for precipitation is around that 20% chance. Going into Saturday, it will continue to be cloudy with another rain and snow mix possible during the day. It will be clearing up as the day goes on with a high near 44 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds will come down and be right around 5 to 10 miles per hour with a low near 29 degrees Fahrenheit, and the chance of precipitation will be around that 20% chance again as well. Going into Sunday, it will finally start to clear up and you'll see that sun peek out. It'll be partly sunny and it'll still be a little chilly. The high will be right around 47 degrees Fahrenheit with a low for the day around 37 degrees Fahrenheit and winds right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Going in to look at the week ahead, Monday will be cloudy with a high near 49 degrees Fahrenheit and a low near 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Tuesday you'll see that sun again. It'll be partly cloudy with a low near 43, or a high near 43, sorry about that, and a low near 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Wednesday more clouds will come in with a high near 47 degrees Fahrenheit and a low near 37 degrees Fahrenheit. And looking into Thursday, some clouds will escape and it'll be mostly sunny with a high near 49 and a low near 37 degrees Fahrenheit. That's it for the 7-day forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
We may soon learn more information about the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. President Trump announced that he could release the classified FBI and CIA records over the murder sometime today. JFK was shot during a parade in Dallas in 1963. There are many questions and theories about his assassination. Some say the president was not the intended target, and others have suggested the CIA was behind the shooting. Tensions are fearing up with the GOP.
And some unusual events are unfolding at the EPA. Carl Reevy has more in this week's Political Pit Stop.
Thanks, guys. An aide to President Donald Trump says he's in high spirits, despite having his character slashed by 2 of his own party members. Senators Bob Corker and Jeff Flake accused the president Tuesday of ruining the values and norms on which American democracy was built. Flake announced his retirement from the Senate the same day, citing a coarsening tenor in U.S. politics. Corker, who's also not seeking re-election, accused Trump of constant non-truth-telling and name-calling. The White House responded by pointing out diminishing support for the 2 senators. A law firm for Hillary Clinton's campaign in the DNC are acknowledging that its clients funded opposition research on Donald Trump during the presidential campaign. The firm Perkins Coie says the dossier of allegations regarding Trump's ties with Russia come after intelligence agency Fusion GPS conducted more than a year of research. The intelligence group is in a legal dispute to block its bank from releasing subpoenaed records to the House Intelligence Committee. The White House on Wednesday called the campaign and DNC's involvement and alleged cover-up of the paid probe a disgrace. The EPA is coming under fire for its spending on security measures for Administrator Scott Pruitt. Pruitt's security detail will expand by a dozen agents, and salaries alone will amount to at least $2 million per year. Such measures for an EPA official were previously unheard of and come after a planned 30% cut to the administration's budget. Pruitt has received 4 to 5 times as many death threats as his predecessor under the Obama administration, and more than 70 investigations have been conducted thus far. That's it for this week's Political Pit Stop. Back to you guys.
And coming up after the break,
NIU unleashes a fetching surprise before tonight's big game against Eastern Michigan.
And NIU women's volleyball captain shares with us her on and off court stories.
Plus, if you haven't bought your Halloween pumpkin, Sycamore's Pumpkin Fest returns this weekend. NTC News will be right back.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org. You made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Diesel, NIU's former mascot, is getting a statue built in his honor. The unveiling will take place before tonight's football game. Diesel was NIU's mascot from 2005 to 2013. He's most well known for appearing on ESPN high-fiving a cheerleader. Diesel passed away from lymphoma 2 years ago. The statue will be placed outside of the northwest corner of Husky Stadium. Diesel's owner says he loved being with the fans. The unveiling is set tonight for 5 p.m.
Sigma Kappa took the win in the 2017 Women's Tugs competition on Saturday. 6 sororities competed in the annual charity competition. Sigma 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 defeated the reigning 10-time champion Delta Zeta in the semifinals, sending them to the championship match. Sigma Kappa beat Sigma 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 after 27 minutes. Delta Zeta finished in 3rd place with Alpha Phi, Alpha Sigma Alpha, and Delta Gamma rounding out the pack.
It's been a busy week in NIU sports. Football team is back in action tonight.
And the World Series is underway. Let's head over to the Sports Hub with NTC sports reporter Mateo Avila.
The NBA and NHL seasons are in full swing, and the World Series is looking to be a good one. But let's kick it off with some good old Husky football. The Huskies have a rare Thursday night game as they line up against the Eastern Michigan Eagles at 6 p.m. The Huskies rallied around new starting quarterback Marcus Childers in their victory over Bowling Green last week. Receiver Chad Beebe had 6 catches for 124 yards and a touchdown, leading the receiving corps responsible for 21 of the Huskies' 48 points. Their opponents, Eastern Michigan, are 2-5 on the season and 0-3 in conference play. If the Huskies can come out with a victory, their chances of a bowl game this season look very bright. With a team full of freshmen, a strong leader is important to help set them up for success. I had a chance to catch up with NIU volleyball player Chandler Kinley for this week's Leader of the Pack. NIU senior setter Chandler Kinley has taken on a leadership role with the volleyball team this season after helping them win the MAC championship last year. The volleyball team underwent some changes during the offseason and added 6 freshmen to the roster. Through last season's championship success, as well as her veteran presence, Chandler has gained a solid understanding of what leadership is to her.
For the sport of volleyball, I think my definition of a leader is someone who can get all 14 of our players, so our whole team on the same page before the game and then keep us on the same page throughout the game. A lot of people look for a leader just because we need control of the court at some aspect, so just having control of everything that's going on and trying to help all my teammates out at the same time.
At the setter position, Chandler is the coach on the floor, and she uses that to not only motivate her teammates and help keep them focused, but to be vocal with them by taking tips from head coach Ray Gooden and expressing those key points throughout the game.
Our setter is our quarterback, and so she's the one where a lot of things go through her. She has the most number of contacts when we play on the volleyball court. So the more in tune we are with each other, the more in tune she can be with the rest of the team.
After early season struggles, the volleyball team has picked up their play late in the season as they make a playoff push. Some reasoning for the team's turnaround was Chandler's emphasis on team bonding and friendship to help build some team chemistry with all the new faces.
I kind of get called the mom most of the time, but we like to do dinners at my apartment, so we make lasagna sometimes and we all hang out, or we celebrate birthdays really heavily on our team. So if it's someone's birthday, we usually get together and hang out. So just keeping us together, it's important to be friends off the court as well as best we can.
Chandler's experience, as well as her commitment to her team both on and off the volleyball court, leave her as this week's Leader of the Pack. Chandler has also demonstrated excellence in the classroom as she, along with NIU quarterback Marcus Childers, were named NIU Scholar Athletes of the Week. Moving from the city of Corn to the Windy City, the Bears took on former MVP Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. The Bears' defense proved to be the kryptonite for Superman as they forced the Panthers into 3 turnovers. Eddie Jackson had 2 defensive touchdowns, leading the way for the 17-3 victory. The now look forward to facing the NFC South leading New Orleans Saints. The Saints are coming off a 9-point victory over the Aaron Rodgers Packers. Game time is set for noon at Soldier Field. Have you ever thought being a college athlete would be easy? Top Shelf Sports reporter Scott Nickel went to practice with the NIU women's gymnastics team to see how easy it really is. Tune into Top Shelf Sports to see how he held up. For the first time ever, the Hawks went to Vegas to play the expansion Golden Knights on their ice. With Vegas up 2-1, winger Pierre Edouard Bellemare gets the pass between the circles, beats Crawford, and puts the Golden Knights up 3-1. The Hawks did have the chances to come back, with Patrick Sharp having a golden opportunity to close the gap on the breakaway, but he could not convert. Vegas looked to put the game away, and when Jonathan Marchand beats Crawford above his shoulder, it was all but over. Blackhawks fall in Vegas by a final score of 4-2. The Bulls took on the Cleveland Cavaliers in early season action. Chicago came out hot as rookie forward Lauri Markkanen was feeling it. Markkanen finished the first half with 17 points on 5 of 6 shooting from 3. Bulls leading scorer Justin Holiday adds another tough 3 to get the Bulls out to a 68-65 halftime lead. But LeBron James and company were too much to handle down the stretch. James was relentless in passing and attacking the basket, helping the Cavs surge past the Bulls in the second half on the way to a 119-112 victory. The Bulls will take on the Atlanta Hawks tonight at the United Center. And finally, the shortest World Series game in 25 years was followed by a 4-hour marathon in Game 2. Dodgers left fielder Kike Hernandez drove a ball past the second baseman, scoring Logan Forsythe from second to tie the game at 5 in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Astros once again grabbed the lead in the 11th inning with a 2-run dinger by George Springer. The Astros would hold on to the lead and win 7-6 in the 11th inning to tie the series at 1. That will be it from NTC Sports. I am Mateo Avila, and as always, go Huskies. Let's send it back to the desk.
We've had pumpkin pie and pumpkin spice all October long, and finally, Pumpkin Fest is here. Members of the DeKalb and Sycamore community kicked off the 56th annual Sycamore Pumpkin Fest Wednesday. Festivities began with pumpkin displays, a giant cake ceremony, and trick-or-treating. This year's theme is Pumpkins Across the Decades. About 1,000 pumpkins were entered in the decorated pumpkin display. Children dressed to the nines and went on a hunt for candy at local businesses. Hy-Vee made and donated this year's giant sheet cake, which is big enough to serve more than 1,000 slices.
This one takes about 3 hours to do. Each sheet the slab is about 20 sheets of cake, and one half sheet just beats 48. So, like I stated, it's 1,920 wedding cake slices.
Other weekend activities include craft shows, carnivals, and of course, the Pumpkin Fest Parade. 2 carnival locations will be available for teens and another for children. The festival will take place in downtown Sycamore through October 29th.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University. For more on NTC News, look us up and like us on Facebook. We want to thank you all for being with us.
In collaboration with WNIJ, we're going to leave you now with Jack Mack singing If You Wanted To. It will air Thursday night at 7 on 89.5 FM and WNIJ.org. Take care, everyone.
Although I admit that I have been taken, look closely at my hand and you see it be shaking from the weight I've been bearing so long, and I ain't letting go.